And a real fight on now between the federal government and New South Wales government on energy policy, potentially putting the heat on Scott Morrison over a promise he made 2 months ago. So you might recall Scott Morrison announced in September that if AGL did not announce it would build a gas plant in the Hunter Valley by April, the federal government's Snowy Hydro would build it.
So this is the plan. If the energy companies choose to step up and make these investments to create that capacity, great. We will step back. If not, my government will step up and we will fill the gap.
Now, AGL, after that announcement, essentially agreed with the feds they would build the plant, but now they've balked. And that's because of legislation brought to the New South Wales Parliament by the Energy Minister Matt Kean. Energy Minister Angus Taylor federally was not consulted by Kean before Kean introduced this legislation, which the federal government says effectively creates a renewable energy target for New South Wales and has led to several energy companies saying this week they'll put the brakes on key gas-fired power station projects. So energy companies, I'm told, are contacting the federal government expressing anger at how there is New South Wales government intervention, meaning there will be more of a focus on renewables and their proposed investments are not secure. This year, ending as it began, with the federal government and New South Wales government both of a Liberal persuasion blueing. Earlier in the year, you might recall, it was around bushfires and the future of the Liddell Power Station. Yesterday, New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian said she wanted 1/3 of quarantine places taken up by international students and skilled migrants. Scott Morrison had said the previous week Australia was sticking with a policy of Australians returning home only. Now this fight over energy direction. On the opposite side of politics, perhaps chastened by Joel Fitzgibbon's comments on Labor losing the blue-collar vote, Anthony Albanese disciple Murray Watt is giving a speech today backing coal and gas. We know Anthony Albanese last week visited the Tomago aluminium plant serviced by Liddell and supposed to be serviced by this gas station that's now in doubt. Now he is claiming Murray Watt is just saying what he said all along, Anthony Albanese.
Murray Watt's speech today is perfectly consistent with what I've been saying and with what Labor has been saying for a long period of time.
It's getting reported that he's going to strongly endorse the export future of coal, iron ore and gas. I mean, how does that fit in?
It fits in with that. That's our policy. And that's consistent with what we've been saying for a long period of time. Those decisions will be made in Tokyo, in Washington, in Beijing, in places that receive our minerals. What Australia has to do is to ensure that we have a trajectory for zero net emissions by 2050.